Good morning, live from Radio Row at Super Bowl 58. I'm Roy Kessel with Kayla Bradham for Sports Philanthropy Network, and we're very excited to have with us Tony Gladney. Tony is the VP of DEI for MGM Resorts International. Tony, thank you for taking time to join us today.
Great to be here with you, Roy. Great to be here with you, Kayla.
Hey, so Tony, let's get right into this, okay? You and me talking about DEI at a real level. Forget all the corporate executive VP garbage, whatever. Let's just talk DEI. I know this is the first time the Super Bowl's been here in Vegas. I'm sure for you that's a really big deal. But let's start at the core level. What's the biggest problem we're seeing with DEI in large corporations across the country right now?
Well, I think, Kayla, that to answer that question, I can tell you what we've seen. And I think what we see is obviously not the understanding of it. You know, when you talk about diversity, when you talk about equity, I think an important key is inclusion that breaks up any perceptions that people are left out. And I think that's what a lot of times takes people from a perspective to where they take this double take, because if they don't feel a part of inclusion, then what happens is they have a tendency to stray away. And so that diversity and equity, important, but that inclusion is what brings it together. And that's what I believe is that element that is the glue.
So Tony, here's something that just blows me. We were talking about the NFL. Let's just go to the draft and the big draft, right? So 2023, the big draft, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America partnering with NFL to get Little's big mentors, right? For the first time in the history of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America, Artis Stevens, a black man, is noted president and CEO. Let's talk about MGM. There's no disguising the color of your skin. In the history of MGM, where does diversity, equity, inclusion sort of fit into this corporate executive C-suite level? How many black and brown policies have come before you?
Yeah, I lost her.
So what we're talking about is looking at the evolution of DEI within the MGM community and looking at where that stands. You know, obviously you look at the NFL has the Rooney Rule, right? In corporate America, it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. I think it stands as a priority. I think it stands not only in our company, but in our industry. I think as a priority. And let me tell you, because I can historically go back as far as what it means to our company. In 2001, MGM started their diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative. You know, many said in the industry, hey, are you sure you want to go down that road? And we did. And what we did was we were able to develop an initiative that was able to meet areas that we knew that we had the opportunities to impact. MGM Resorts, we built a lot of buildings, we hire a lot of people, and we buy a lot of goods and services. So within our trajectory of diversity, equity, and inclusion, we were able to tackle those elements firstly. And then when you look at upward mobility, if you cease to exercise diversity, equity, and inclusion, as we were fortunate to do, we don't grow into markets like Detroit, Michigan. We don't grow into markets like National Harbor, Maryland. We don't grow into markets like Cincinnati in Mississippi. Oh, and by the way, there are populations that demand that you are making sure that you're responsible in these areas as a criteria for doing business. And so for us, in our trajectory, what we found is by having not only employees and not only executives, but members of your board of directors, ownership in places like Detroit, Michigan, we were able to find out that that's the business case. And that's a very important case when you talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I've been fortunate to be a part of a company that has put that as a priority because it means the success of our business and our growth, not only nationally, but internationally.
And you talk about that in terms of doing well by doing good, right? And you look at your history coming from the Bay Area, playing at UNLV and then for the 49ers. So I'm sure it's exciting. You get both of those back here. You get a Super Bowl in Vegas with your home team, and you're on the host committee, community affairs area. Tell us about the initiatives that you as a host committee have implemented for this week.
Well, thank you for the question, Roy and Kayla. It has been a pleasure and an honor to obviously represent our company, MGM Resorts, and serve on the Super Bowl host committee. I happen to have been one of the chairs of the Community Affairs Committee. And so that was special. I actually was a co-chair with a gentleman, Peter Guzman, from the president of the Latin Chamber, and a gentleman named Shondell Newsom, who's a business owner here, very active in the minority business enterprise community and women business enterprise community. And so we were able to, with this Super Bowl host committee, tackle areas in our community as well as specific NFL initiatives. We tackled areas such as human trafficking, organizations that we were able to partner with. We tackled areas as far as environmental sustainability. For example, we were able to plant 3,000 trees in areas within our communities here in Southern Nevada. And we all know, as Kayla, I know, has spent some time in the environmental sustainability and the initiatives for hunger. When you think about planting trees, for example, do you know in an area like Las Vegas where it gets over 100 degrees, how that, by having trees, takes that heat index down for the citizens of your community? In areas such as urban communities and economically disadvantaged communities, truly important. So those were some of the initiatives that we were able to tackle, and obviously able to tackle specific areas such as hunger, food insecurity, such as the educational aspect. So I've been very, very proud to work representing MGM Resorts and working with the Super Bowl committee. And the great news, Roy and Kayla, is that this game is a very important game. But our view on it is we hope that it comes back. But when the NFL is gone, or the Super Bowl is gone from here, obviously citizens still live here. And so we're grateful of our work with the NFL and our company and others to make sure that we're still being responsible, to make sure that we're moving these initiatives forward continuously.
Tony, here's my last question for you. You're in Vegas, you're with MGM, you understand the gaming, the gambling community. I'm in Wisconsin. Our casinos are generally run and operated by tribal communities. Those tribal communities, the casinos are the lifeblood to bringing commerce into the tribes, to giving hope and possibility for Native Americans. You're seeing that. Can you talk about in the Vegas community? Who are your workers? These are people working honest jobs, blessed to be here, correct? Could you speak about that?
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about, being the largest employer in the state of Nevada, and you think about our employees, these, 60,000 plus employees from a company standpoint, and here in Southern Nevada, for example, that these are the employees that serve and service our guests every day. And so Tony Gladney and our executives, people like Tony Gladney get a chance to come out and represent those important key employees. And when you think about it, it's really the element of really everything that we do. Our initiatives as far as focus on what matters, that's important because those are the voice of our employees and the impact that we make as far as what we offer those employees, what they have access to, and how we represent them is really, like you said, Kayla, it's our lifeline. And we take that very, very seriously because their work actually transcends into our community efforts, our serving of our customers, and it is the jewel and the lifeline of all that we do. So very, very important to us. It's a very important industry in this state, but we know that we cannot do anything without those hardworking employees that are out there serving our customers, our guests on a daily basis.
Well, Tony, we want to thank you for coming on and joining us. We know you have a hectic schedule here on Radio Row and with all your responsibilities, both for the host committee and for MGM in terms of that charitable work. We want to commend you. Would love to continue to work together and partner with MGM in terms of working with our chapters. We have over 22 chapters around the country now, so would love to expand that opportunity and relationship. We appreciate your time. On behalf of Kayla Bradham, I'm Roy Kessel, Sports Philanthropy Network. Thanking Tony Gladney for joining us today. Thanking our viewers and listeners for being part of our community and reminding everybody to live generously. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Roy.
Tony.